Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone gather up. The virtual campfire we call stock trading because things are already heating on up. We got s'mores, we got marshmallows, we got everything we need to an absolutely awesome day ahead, an awesome week ahead, if we may add. HSDT, already kicking off the party right here. HSDT starting to get a little bit of action, starting to get a little bit of hype, and starting to get a little bit of hype. I'm ready to get myself involved on this play. I'm thinking, though, $18.75, $19. That's where we go ahead and look for a short. That's where we go ahead and look to reverse these plays. Now, as you guys know me, I do not like to buy at the very tippity top. I like to be able to look to short. I like to be able to look for reversals. I like to be able to look for pullbacks. That's where I make my money. So as of now, we have a stock that's up 105% that is grinding its way on up. What we have to do, first things first, and I was waiting until Stock Twits kicked off the show so we can do this together, is we have to see how much our shares to short. If I wanted to short 1,000 shares over on HSDT, let's inquire about that. There are 1,000 shares available. I'm going to go to locate lowest the 1,000 shares. 1,000 shares, locate lowest. Let's see what we have. And that is going to cost me $20. Total cost $20. Is that worth it? I think so. Absolutely. So I'm going to now, again, pay a $20 fee. Now it's located and I'm all set, ready to rock. So now whenever I want throughout this entire day, I can go ahead and I could short 1,000 shares over on HSDT. Now, Deck, why would you short 1,000 shares? Why would you bet against this play when it's gone on such a great move so far? Well, traders, as a stock starts going up 50, 80, 90, 100, 110%, the stock starts to get exhausted. Buyers start kind of tapping on out. At what point would you say that this stock becomes overvalued? At what point would you say, hey, you know what? People are going to start taking profits. It's getting a little bit too high. When we see a penny stock, when we see a stock that was only $9, shoot all the way up towards $18.50, $19, $20, at what point will people say, hey, I've made enough money, I'm going to take my profits? And that's going to make that guy over there say, you know what, I'm going to take my profits too. And this guy over here says, yeah, I'm going to take my profits too. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out. And we see that shift. We see that turn in momentum. So right now, HSDT still grinding. We just got up to 1874 as the high, and usually right around 1875 is going to be a nice high number. Now, over the last few days here, traders, stocks have been going a little bit higher than what I've been expecting. So let's try to figure this out together. Let's figure out, number one, why is HSDT spiking? Number two, where and how and why is it going to turn at a certain price level? So we do have HSDT 1875 could be that high area. We've talked about this, but let's kind of take a little step back. First things first, why is this play the number one hottest play of the day? Why is this play getting tons of action? Why is this play getting tons of momentum? Well, if you guys actually scroll down right here at 7 o'clock this morning, this is over on my Fox Runner news scanner. So again, Fox Runner is what I use. And you guys could see at 7 a.m. this morning, HSDT 3-star press release announces positive outcome on its upcoming submission for the FDA breakthrough designation. So basically what we have right here, traders, is we have all the words that we need highlighted. It has positive data. Traders, a stock doesn't come out with negative data and goes on a big time spike. When you have positive data, positive drug results, positive agreements, positive contracts, when you have anything in the positive side as a company, investors like it. So we see that we had a positive outcome, right? And of course, they're talking about the FDA. They're talking about a breakthrough. It's getting traders excited. Now, again, what else are we adding right here? We're adding extremely low float. We have, number one, credibility. Credibility on why people want to buy into it. Stock has a great positive press release, 3-star word right here. It's also, again, right at the top gainers with news, HSDT. We can also see it was alerted over here, news alerts tab, showing us HSDT. This is the stock we want to watch. This is the stock we want to look at. This is the stock we want to be aware of. This was, again, back 36 minutes ago. Now, HSDT, as we could see, buyers just stormed right on it. Buyers again say, you know what? I want to get involved on this play. I want to jump in on this stock. I think that this play is going to be able to make us a lot of money. And the stock went from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way up towards what price? That 1875 mark. Now, Deck, how do we know that 1875 is usually going to turn into a reversal area? To be frank with you, this is one of those weird things that I only know because I've just been trading for so long. a lot of times, if you see a stock go from, let's say, $5 up to 6, 7, 8, usually right around 8.75 is where a stock reverses. There's no rhyme or reason. And I wish I could tell you, but a lot of times it's just like kind of everyone knows it, so everyone does it. It's the same exact thing when we come up towards 18.75. If we see a stock go from, again, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it's 18, usually right around 18.75 is where, again, stocks turn and fade and fall, right? So you guys could see even 21 minutes ago over on my Twitter, 21 minutes ago over on StockTwits, right? What was I posting out there for every single person to be able to see? Look at this, 7:15 a.m. HSDT target 18.75. Guys, I am not a fortune teller. All I'm trying to do is, again, get to a point where I could be able to predict the best I can and put the odds in my favor. So, Deck, if you, again, knew 18.75 was going to turn, why didn't you jump in on this play? Well, I wanted to be able to start off the show the right way. I wanted to be able to talk to you guys, explain to you, kind of get everyone caught up before just jumping into a trade. I wanted to make sure everyone is set, ready to go on this Money Monday. I want to make sure, again, we can do these things together. I didn't want to just jump on the show and say, hey, guys, good morning, 18.75, I'm shorting right now, and have half the people, probably more than half, 3/4 of the people lost. So now that we're caught on up, we could definitely look for that next possible trade. Now that we're caught on up, we could be able to make that next, potential move. So HSDT, what do we got? What can we do? Let's take a look at the chart and let's see how can we actually be able to make some profit. Well, the big thing that stands out to me is what? Number one, stock trading can become easy at times. Now, what do we mean easy at times? Well, what do you guys realize? Every single time HSDT has formed an upper shadow, it has reversed its way back on down. You guys have heard me say this example a bajillion times before. But again, when it comes down to stock trading, it's almost like just climbing up that mountain. When you climb up a mountain and you try to get to the very tippity top of the mountain, what do you like to do? You want to stick a flag at the very top and let every single person know that you have made it. You have climbed this mountain. You stuck the flag at the top saying you have been here. For every other person to come in the future, you were here first. Now, what happens after you get to the top? Well, after you get to the top, you head back on down. That's what you have to do. You climb the mountain, you put the flag at the top, and then you head back on down. That's almost like, what we see in stock trading. We see that, again, you climb up the big spike, you have, again, a big upper shadow at the top, then you head back on down. Then maybe you climb up another one, you have some upper shadows at the top, you head back on down. Notice you climb up another one, you form an upper shadow at the very tippity top, and then you head back on down. So again, it's one of those easy key giveaways that allows you to be able to make sense with your stock trading. It's one of those very simple little things to be able to say, wow, every single time an upper shadow form, it doesn't mean the stock's going to collapse. But what it does help you with is understanding which way momentum is about to go. Hey, we just had a stock spike up 50% in the matter of 5 minutes, and now we have an upper shadow forming. Hey, there's a great chance that this play is most likely going to give back a lot of its gains. There's a great chance that over the next 20 minutes or so, we could see some nice fading and falling and dropping. So could HSDT, again, continue on with its pattern that it's been? Well, Deck, what's its pattern? Let's just connect the bottoms. If I was, again, an HSDT buyer, if I was someone who wanted to buy HSDT, my target right now would be back on down towards around 1505. 1505 area, 1510 area. Now, again, am I making up these areas? Oh, Deck, I got a good, funny feeling about this. No, not at all. I'm not trying to sit here and say I got a good, funny feeling. I'm trying to break down this play in the most credible reasons possible, the most credible way possible. Saying to myself, hey, you know what? We have, again, a dip, buy, and bounce play right here. Hey, we have a dip, buy, and bounce play right here. Hey, the odds are after having this upper shadow, that we are going to have a dip, buy, and bounce play right here. Dip, buy, a dip, buy, a dip, buy, reversal, reversal, reversal. Let's watch to see if we can get a dip, buy, and reversal off this uptrend, and then, again, move ourselves back on up in a nice timely manner. So again, HSDT, I want to continue to keep my eyes peeled on this play to see how well this is going to get that dip, buy, and bounce. But it's all about trying to find those little key areas of predictability. And again, HSDT is a really cool stock. Number one, we have our credibility. We have a hot press release. Number two, we have a low float. Number three, we have big volume. This is where everyone's focused on. Now, all we got to do is try to figure out where can we look for reversals? Where can we, again, get involved in trades? Now, it doesn't matter if you're a shorter, if you're a buyer, it doesn't matter what type of trader you are, to be frank with you. All you guys have to do as a stock trader is be able to figure out where will reversals happen. I see reversals more at tops coming back on down. I like to look for upper shadows. I like to look for past chart areas of resistance. I like to look for areas that, again, the stock's going to turn and fade. I see that more clearly on better than where stocks are going to bounce at. So the thing is, that's why I look to short. But if you, again, see, oh, Deck, I can see support a lot easier, then go ahead and look for dip buys. But again, in all reality, if you want to become a day trader, it's not about finding, oh, what's the best stock. It's about knowing what's the most active stock and then saying to yourself, where's the reversal at? Where can I be able to go ahead and be able to get a nice reversal area? Where could I go ahead and jump in on these plays and be able to find, again, an area where the stock's going to turn and fade at? Like, for instance, right here. If, again, HSDT starts spiking its way back on up, there should be some sort of resistance between the prices of 1750 and probably somewhere back on up towards around 1760. Now, I do think as of now, we are going to be holding up this upper shadow at the very tippity top right here. I think that will be the top. And if you have an entry above $18, I think you're crushing it. I think you're doing amazing. I do think, however, there will be some strong resistance back up towards around 1750. I do think there will be some strong resistance back up towards around this like 1780-ish mark, where again, we could go ahead and look for another entry on the short side, especially if we get just a little bit of a pop back on up and traders start getting a little excited about this play. We might be able to short back up near the top here one more time. Now, not only that though, here traders, if we wanted to change the outlook of this play, we could also connect the tops as well. Sure, you could do that, right? Would anyone do this at this moment and say, hey, Deck, you know what? I'm going to play this stock very simple. Whenever we're near a bottom, I'm going to look for a dip buy. Whenever we're near a top, I'm going to look for a short. That's a good way to be able to trade this play, isn't it? If you wanted to make your stock trading as easy, as simple, just basically wake up and say, hey, I just want to be able to do the right thing. Well, what's the right thing? Every time we come up to the top, you look for a reversal back on down. Every single time you look for a bottom, you look for, again, a dip buy back on up. The issue with most traders is that they always see a spike and they buy here and end up losing. They see a spike, they buy here, and they end up losing. Then the stock comes back on down. They say, oh, no, the stock's garbage. It's over with. Oh, Deck, the stock's dead. And then it gets a big bounce play. Oh, the stock's done with. It's over with. Then it gets a big bounce play. You must understand it. Stock trading is a game of opposites. When you see a stock spiking on up, it's time to get out of the play. When you see a stock crashing on down, it's time to get into the play. Now, obviously, there's going to be a little bit more specifications than just that, but that's the general idea that everyone runs away when a stock falls a little bit saying it sucks. No, that's the great dip buy opportunity. And everyone jumps in at the very tippity top saying this is the best play ever, when no, it's most likely going to fall back down very soon. So you got to be able to be in the right mindset to be able to understand how stock trading works and how to be able to make the most amount of money. Fiji water, guys. The soft taste of solid rock. That's some good stuff right there. Water is extremely important. I wonder, is this really from the Fiji Islands? Are they really, again, sitting there filling up each water bottle in a natural spring and then shipping it on over? Maybe I'll start a water company somewhere out there in some random island as well. And you know what? We are going to have a group of employees hand paddle our way across the Atlantic to be able to, again, give you one bottle of water. Each bottle of water would be $15,000. Hand paddled across the Atlantic from the inner depths of Bosnia. It's all in the works right now. Got to get a little bit of a cleaner business plan, but we'll get there. Right now, HSDT, still the #1 play at this moment. Traders, if you guys are excited for this week, if you guys are excited for Money Monday, if you guys are learning, if you guys enjoy the show, if you guys are saying to yourself, man, I can't wait for the next trade, can't wait for the next opportunity, can't wait for the next play right here, smash that freaking thumbs up right now. Everyone, again, go over to StockTwits over on the YouTube page, smash that thumbs on up, get excited, get some interaction up in here. Let's get ready to go. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. But smash that thumbs on up because we are about to get this party started. And we're looking for that first trade of the day. Now, let's go. Let's see what we have. HSDT. We are seeing if this play is going to get a little bit more volume, a little bit more action. Now, We also do see a couple SARs or SABs, excuse me. I want to see if there's anything else that's going on at this moment. And you know what? Actually, as I'm talking about that, right when you take your eyes off HSDT, it starts turning its way back on up here a little bit. Guys, look how fast HSDT is starting to squeeze and spike. Now, Deck, what were we just talking about? Weren't we just talking about the fact that HSDT might try to squeeze its way back up towards around that $18 mark, right? HSDT, weren't we just talking about this play was trying to get a little bit of action and might try to work its way back up towards $18 plus? I might look for an entry coming on up here and have a stop loss if the play ever gets back above $18. So right now, traders, can we get a little bit of an entry and say to ourselves, all right, hey, we do have a spike. Another upper shadow is starting to form. That's the scary thing. Another little upper shadow is starting to form. We could see a reversal coming back on down in the near future. So I want to look right here, maybe again do some small entries at a time, see if again this play is going to stay underneath the 1750-ish mark. I'm thinking about doing 250 shares, just kind of doing a little bit of a starting position and see if this upper shadow is going to lead towards any sort of reversal. So I'm actually going to do my first entry of the day, first entry of the morning right here, right now with you guys, 250 shares, and then see if this play is going to start getting a little reversal. My exit is going to be if this play ever started re-breaking $18. Okay, does that make sense, everyone? So if we ever start getting back above $18, I'm going to get out of this play and move on. Now, I'm already up 155 bucks off a very puny little bit of shares. Now, Deck, why are we jumping on this play? Well, Deck, what did I tell you? Didn't we say that if we saw an upper shadow, we'd probably want to look for an area to be able to reverse and fall? Didn't we say if we see this right here, we'd most likely see some red candles? Didn't we say if we see this, we'd most likely see some red candles? So if we're seeing this, are we most likely seeing a red candle? And the answer is yes. So again, we're just following the law of the upper shadows. That's all we're doing. We're again starting small, first entry of the day, 250 shares, putting ourselves involved in a position, looking to be able to have credibility with every trade we jump in, every play we jump in, every play we get involved in. Are we looking to do anything nuts? No, we are again just following what HSDT is telling us. HSDT speaks to me, guys. It's saying, Deck, I have an upper shadow and I'm getting weak. Short me, Deck, short me, short me. maybe it wasn't speaking exactly like that. That kind of sounds a little weird after I say that maybe 2 or 3 times, but maybe it was saying something along those lines. Okay, so HSDT, we did get some nice red candles right here. We're currently up $222 on this day, but it's great to be able to kind of figure out those type of moves and be able to kind of get a good idea and a game plan. Now, Deck, what would be a great exit for us? You basically have 2 areas that you can exit, right? Actually, 3 areas. Number 1, you can exit right now. Get out of this play. Be able to say, Deck, I'm out of it. I'm moving on. I'm a happy camper. I'm just going to move on from this play. The second entry you could do is back on down to the purple line. The purple line is, as we know, the dip buy area. We should see bounce play right here. We should see bounce play right here. And we should see bounce play right here. So the best area would be sub 16 to be able to get out at that purple line. The third area would be what? If this stock ever actually got that crash, right? If this stock actually crashed underneath this bottom area of 16 and dumped all the way back down towards around 15 or so, that could be a great area as well. All right. So right here, what do you guys think? What's the best idea? What's the best way to trade over on this play? We do have, again, HSDT trying to stay alive. HSDT trying to move itself on up. We do have an entry at 1740 at this time. We were just up about $220. Stock is still trying to get a little bit of hype. Still a little bit of hype right here. Still a little bit of buying volume. And Deck, where's your stop loss? As I said, my stop loss is going to be if the stock ever came up to $18. Stock ever came up to $18, I would get out. I wouldn't want to, again, jump in on this play. I can always add then all the way at the very tippy top. Deck, where would you look to add on this play? Probably up towards around 1875 or waiting for that possible new high, right? So HSDT, what do we want to see? We obviously want to see this thing crash all the way back down to $16 or lower. We want to see if this thing is going to go underneath this blue line right here. We do have a channel pattern. We know, again, anything up high is going to be great shorts. We did have the upper shadow form, and we want to see if this is going to reverse and come back on down towards around 1590. So let's see, again, if that is going to be able to happen. Let's see if this thing can be able to reverse its way back on down, get a little bit of a crash. And do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? Short me, Deck. Short me. Short me. Short me. Okay. Whoa. All right, right now, traders, let's again keep our eyes peeled. $18 stop loss on this play, getting ready to get out of it if we must. But at the same time here, team, we'll keep our eyes peeled to see what this play is going to actually be doing for us. So I want to see these little upper shadows. We did come back down to 16.13 so far. HSDT looking for that reversal back on down. Curb saying HSDT just made $1,100 on the day. I just shorted it. Thanks, Deck. Hey, that's all you. Guys, I appreciate when you guys say thank you. I do. I appreciate it. I get happy when I see you guys make money. But at the same time, I'm not the one pulling the trigger for you. You're the one pulling the trigger. You're the one making the money. Give yourself the credit. Say, Deck, I hate you. You are just, again, in my way. I'm making the money. I'm the big... Okay, maybe we're getting a little too carried away. But at the same time, I want you guys to be able to, again, take the credit for yourself. You guys are the ones making the money. You guys are the one pressing the button. You are the one that's giving yourself the confidence to say, you know what? Deck gave me a little outline. He gave me a little game plan. But you are the one who executed. So, again, shout out to you. Shout out to you making that money. Shout out to you making the cash. Shout out to you, again, jumping on in on these plays. Here comes that possible reversal. Let's see if we can get sub 16. Sub 16 here, baby. Sub 16 is the goal. Push ourselves up nearly $400 on the day. Let's see it, guys. Now, again, that purple line at $15.98 is going to be a little bit of a dip buy. Now, remember, if you're saying to yourself, Deck, I think it's going to spike back on up, just take profits right now. If you think that this play is going to be able to spike back on up here in a little bit, and you're saying, Deck, I think we're going to get a bounce play next to this purple line, there is no harm, no foul in just taking profits when you have them. Again, I do want you guys to also get into a little bit of a habit of that as well. Now, I'm going to hold this for a little bit. I'm going to hold this for a little bit to see if we are going to get that crack, see if we are going to get that drop back down to 1590 or so, and try to, again, make this 250 shares a little bit more worthwhile. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with ever taking profits when you have them. So we've had a couple little upper shadows right here. Looking to see if the stock's going to be able to reverse and fade. We are, again, slowly kind of losing that hype. We're looking to be able to get to this purple line and then get a nice little sell-off. We'll give it a little bit of time here. Also, in about 7 minutes, traders, little heads on up. In 7 minutes, we do have the 8 a.m. press release wave. Another press release wave to be able to, another press release wave to be able to possibly find the next HSDT. So right now, traders, let's see if this thing can be able to reverse and fade and drop and get weaker and weaker and weaker. Also, if you're sitting right here and saying, Deck, my broker doesn't allow me to have shorts over on HSDT, you guys have to be able to use Cobra trading. So just a little heads on up. If you guys are not using Cobra trading, make sure you guys go use Cobra right now. They are the best shorting broker out there. They truly are. They are the best shorting broker out there. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that on out. I'm going to post a link over in the YouTube chat so that you guys can go ahead and check those on out. But that is Cobra Trading. If you guys type in the word Dekmar Trades, you guys are going to get tons of discounts. Right now, let's see here. HSDT, are we going to get it, guys? Who thinks we're going to get that little crack coming on up here in the future? Oh, we're still trying to bounce. Notice, guys, we're still trying to bounce right here over on HSDT. HSDT, this is one of those areas where it's like, it's never wrong to take your gains. It's like, hey, nothing wrong with taking a free $200 if we want to be able to, again, lock it on in right here. But if this thing can crack, if we can crack that bottom purple line right here, 1620, we're going to get a dump back on down to like 1550 or so. And that would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to add that little extra gains, that little extra sauce. All right, here comes the purple line, traders. Purple line right now. If you want to, take your gains right now off the purple line. Okay? Nothing wrong taking profits off the purple line because this is where dip buyers might be trying to move on in. So dip buyers might try to move on in off this purple line as stated. And here comes a little bit of a buying volume rush. Traders, this is kind of what I want you guys to understand. Stock trading can be extremely predictable at times. This is what I want you guys to notice. What have we been talking about this entire time? We have been talking about this entire time of finding levels of predictability. Now, where are levels of predictability? We know buyers move in here. Buyers move on here. And is it funny, everyone, that all of a sudden a buyer, or not just a buyer, multiple buyers just moved in when we hit the purple line, when we hit the bounce play? It's all one big psychological game. That's all it is. It's where is everyone else going to buy at the same exact time? And everyone is going to buy at the same exact time at the purple line. So you guys can see exactly that at this moment. to kind of get a good understanding of, oh, wow, okay, hey, this play is getting a little rip and run. So notice what's actually happening right here. I'm getting a little short squeezed at this moment. You guys could see, oh man, look at this play going a little bit of a rip and a pop right here. I will look for an entry up high, up near around that, like, I'll look for an entry up high, up near around like 1980 or so. But notice what we just had. How crazy was that, ladies and gentlemen? Look at the short squeeze that we just saw. Look at the short squeeze that we just had on this play. And that's simply enough. Simply enough, we just had this ginormous short squeeze because we just had a bounce play. Now, again, I'm down $100, right? You guys can see I'm down $100. I never went too big on this trade in any sort of way. But look how crazy that was. Isn't that cool to be able to figure out that you guys can be able to see, and you guys can be able to predict, and you guys can get a better understanding of where, again, buyers are going to come in, because it all came on down to that purple line. That was it. Literally, again, we came on down to that purple line, and that was it. And once we hit that purple line, we were like, oh, wow, hey, that's interesting. We hit that purple line, and all of a sudden, guess what happens? Buyers came flying on in on this play like it was, absolute madness. So this is where you also have to understand your entries. You have to understand your exits. You have to understand where to get in. You have to understand where to get out. You got to be able to understand the right way to be able to trade. Now, I am looking to see if we get a little bit of a pullback. And you know what? It's only 250 shares. I'm probably just going to get out, start fresh, and go from there. You know what? I think that's a much better plan. I think that's a much better idea. Let me, again, get out of this play, start fresh, go from there, and say, you know what? If this play, again, ever squeezed or went a little bit crazy, I don't got to get involved in it, and I can always get a better entry. So I'm going to get out of my play, take a small loss right there, $100, and we'll look for a little bit of a fresh start over on this trade. Follow my game plan, as I said before. Now, HSDT. It is still following the same exact game plan, right? It is still following, right? The same exact ideas, the rules that it has been, which is, of course, top, 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 which is, of course, bottom, bottom, bottom. And now, again, what is happening? We do have another big, long upper shadow. We could be seeing another big pullback here in the future. I mean, guys, how many times have we seen this so far? We have seen spike and we've seen drop, and we've seen spike and we've seen drop, and we've seen spike and we've seen drop, and we've seen spike. Is there going to be a point that, again, we're going to get maybe all the way up to $20, or are we going to start fading all the way back on down towards like 1680? Because, again, notice what we have right here. If we have this very big upper shadow, right now, does that mean we are now going to see this, the reversal, this, the reversal, this, the reversal? Right? We just had the perfect bounce off again this area. Again, we talked about it. Again, if you're saying, Deck, why didn't you take your profits? To be frank with you, I only had 250 shares. I just wanted to see if it was going to sell on off and dump. Massive little pop off that bottom area. And now we have another upper shadow. Having another upper shadow, what does that mean for us? Well, we're going to see, traders, are we going to kind of start breaking this top again? If we get above and stay above 1825, I'm going to let you guys know right now. If we get above and stay above 1825, we could go on a big squeeze. If we can't get above and stay above 1825, that is where we're going to reverse back on down. Deck, where are you getting 1825 from? I am looking at the upper shadows. Upper shadow, then we have a big upper shadow. Then you could see, again, upper shadow, but then we have upper shadow. We just keep hitting that 1825 mark and keep getting rejected. You can see that 1825 is a little bit of a tough area to be able to get above, get above and hold above. I do think if we test 1825 a few times and we cannot get above it, it's most likely going to turn and dump. Now, little side note here, traders. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's watch the news scanner right now and see if anything new comes on out. Okay? So we're going to watch the news scanner right now, and we're going to see if anything hot, anything new comes on out, anything big, and just make sure that we're all set, ready to go. Again, just give a quick little refresh. All right, awesome. So what do we have here? Watching to see if we get any sort of big hype and big momentum. See if anything, hot comes on through. Right now, traders, we have a Bitcoin press release. Positive data, phase 3. I'm trying to see if anything super big. We also have, again, DFDV. DFDV, guys, look at this. DFDV Treasury raises $19 million for line of credit to be able to add to Solana Treasury. We have been seeing a lot of plays just like this. Hold on a second. DFDV. I could imagine a Solana play going crazy. Nope, nothing happening too much yet. Nothing happening too much yet on DFDV. DFDV, though, I couldn't imagine like a Solana press release go crazy. What's this? PRPH. Explore reverse merger and approves crypto treasury initiative. So PRPH, this one. Guys, crypto has been a very hot keyword recently. PRPH, not doing too much just yet. Is there anything going nuts? Anything going nuts right here, right at 8 o'clock? We're kind of looking around. Right now, again, I don't think anything's too crazy at that 8 o'clock mark. Phase 3, positive meeting. PMN grants a fast track. So PMN grants a fast track press release. Again, these are kind of tiny plays right now, guys. These are a little bit of tiny plays. I honestly thought if there was going to be a big spike, it would be DFDV, talking about raising $19 million line of credit to be able to add to Solana. I thought that would be a little bit more of a better play. Right now, we're fine, though. It's not like anything's going crazy. There's not any massive 8 o'clock ripper and runner. There's no massive mover at this time. PMN is, again, a stock that has a fast track. PMN has room to run up to 77 cents. Now, I will say 77 cents is the 200-day moving average right now. So, guys, if you guys want to take a look right now, PMN, 77 cents is going to be a very tough area of resistance. PMN. Why do I say that? Because, again, that is the 200-day moving average. Can we get up towards that high? Let's see. I might want to look for some shares to be able to short. See if the stock can be able to reverse back on down. Look at this play. Starting to get that hype, starting to get that momentum. PMN, traders, still going, still ripping. I can only locate 6,000 shares on this play. Locate lowest, cancel. This would cost me $7. If I want to get 6,000 shares, it would cost me $7. That's not too bad in any sort of way. So again, this play right here over on PMN, I'm actually thinking about getting involved. 77 cents, rejected. Why did I get rejected? Did I not get my to accepted right here? PMN. Oh, I got to go 0.77. I don't think that was a little rookie mistake right there. Just kind of missed it. 0.77. Looking for a possible short at this area here, traders. I will look to get filled, as I said, if I can get filled up to 77 cents. I am getting filled on my first entry here. 77 cents. I'm going to look to keep on adding right around that 77 cent mark if I can get this play. So I'm in right now. Only 1,000 shares got filled at 77 cents. If you're saying, Deck, why are you looking to get filled at 77 cents? That's just because of right there. 200-day moving average. This red squiggly line is, again, a strong resistance line. This red squiggly line, I know it doesn't look like much, but in most cases, when you see a stock run on up, hit again a 200-day moving average, you usually get rejected right around that area. That's usually what happens. We usually see, again, you run on up and you get rejected somewhere right around that area. And when you get rejected right around that area, that's where, again, you could be able to see these stocks fade and turn and fall and, get ugly, ugly, ugly. So, going to keep looking to be able to see if I can be able to get some entries around that mark. And we'll be all set, ready to go. So I want to see if I can keep getting some more entries on this play. Deck, would you just add up even higher? Probably like 81 cents. What's the high of the day? 79. Yeah, so I would add maybe, again, a little bit more up near around 81 cents in case we got a little bit of a pop. Maybe add a little bit more up towards around 79 cents if it got a little bit of a pop as well. Oh, here comes 81. All right, guys, just got filled 4,000 shares total. Cost base is 79. So again, 4,000 shares total at this moment for myself. And I like my entry. I do. Like my entry. Gonna, again, sit back on this one. Enjoy it. See if this one can be able to make me some nice gains. See if this one can be able to make me some nice profits. I'd probably do one more final entry up near around like 83, 84. And see if that can be able to reverse back on down. Deck, what would you like out of this trade? I would like to see the stock sub 70 cents. Excuse me. I would like to see the stock back on down towards around like 65. So with 4,000 shares and seeing this at 79 cents, I do think I could be able to get about $700 out of this trade. So PMN, Deck, what were you thinking on this trade? PMN, Deck, how did you find it? Well, number one, I found the stock over on Fox Runner. Where did I see it? Right here at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, 3-star word, does talk about it was granted a fast track. Fast track is a good, credible press release. Now, I know if you're ever saying, Deck, why short a good, credible press release? Because these are stocks that are only $1. These are stocks that are only 2-3 cents. No matter what press release comes out with them, they usually go on spikes and they usually give back all their gains. So the thing is, PMN right here, I jumped in on this play expecting that it's going to go on a spike. And once everyone's happy with their profit, they dump and they sell it on off. So it's basically everyone buys on in, you make as much money as you can. And once you suck up all the profits, you dump it on off and you go look for something else, maybe such as HSDT. Right? HSDT, guys, little heads on up. We know, again, this is one that we're still watching. HSDT, though, is starting to get a little bit more bearish. Little heads up for you guys. If you guys are involved in HSDT, this one's getting a little bit more bearish. Let's go back over to PMN, though. PMN right now, what are we looking for? We're looking back on down to sub 70 cents here. We got 4,000 shares at 79 cents. Deck, why did we get filled at 79 cents? Because we do know right at 77 cents is the 200-day moving average. So we're looking for that to kind of hold up as the ceiling. We're looking for that to kind of hold up as like the top wall here. So I want to see if I can like find any good examples. Like, you know, this right here, IXHL. IXHL, notice how it hits the 200-day moving average, gets rejected. Comes up towards right around the 200-day moving average, gets rejected. So basically, again, here's like a small little example of what I'm kind of, you know, my idea for my plan is notice we hit this mark, and we fall and fade. Notice we hit this mark and we fall and fade. We hit this mark and we fall and fade. We hit this mark and we fall and fade. That's the idea. The idea is usually we hit these areas and we fall and fade. That's the idea of it. Now, Deck, right now, we're not falling and fading. I'm taking a look over on PMN. And again, what's happening? We're getting a little bit of a squeeze on up. So where's your last area? Where's your stop loss? How can you stay disciplined over on this trade? Well, I would say to myself at this moment that my last area would probably be if this thing goes above 91 cents in any way. If this play goes above 90 to 91, I'm probably going to move on, get out, cut my losses, and say, you know what? I'm getting out of this play. Why? Because could I keep on adding all day? Yes, I could. Could I keep jumping in on this play and say, well, Deck, let's keep adding and it'll fall at some point? That's the wrong way to trade. The wrong way to trade is for me to jump in on this play and keep on holding and hoping and holding and hoping. And guess what? I'm moving on and getting out. So guys, I'm moving on and I'm getting out right now. Why do I have to? Because the wrong way for me to trade is to just keep holding and hoping and holding and hoping. I had a game plan. What was my game plan? My game plan was we were going to run up to the red line. We were going to get rejected. If we run up to the red line, I get filled and we go up higher than that, that's no longer my game plan. I'm now gambling. I'm now holding and hoping for something more. I'm now holding and hoping that the stock does more than expected. That's not what I think is going to happen. So now what do I have to do? I got to get out, cut on out, say, you know what? This is not working for me. And I'm going to, again, look for a new game plan. The worst thing you can do in a stock is, again, jumping on a play. It goes off your game plan and you keep holding it just because you don't want to take a loss. That's the worst thing to do. Guys, basically, when you look at these, you got to think about these not as money. You got to think about it as points, right? Right now, I'm down 800 points. All right. So again, I got to be able to make up 800 points. It's just points. It's all points, guys. You got to be able to get yourself back into the green. But let's think about this right now. What would happen if I keep on holding? What would happen again? Because I'm not a fortune teller. But you know what? We see this happen every single day where all of a sudden I will jump in on a play. And if I win or if I lose, guess what happens? People will say in 15 minutes from now, in about 15 minutes, we could have PMN all the way back on down towards the price of 65 cents. People will say then, well, Deck, if you kept on holding, you would have won. Again, I don't know what's going to happen in 15 minutes from now, just like you don't. In 15 minutes from now, PMM could be all the way up towards $1.50, right? So all I can do at this time is to do exactly what I thought the plan was. Now, what's the plan? Plan was, number one, get filled at this area. Get filled at the 200-day moving average. Plan number two, what else is the plan? Have a stop loss as, again, we come up towards around 90 cents. It's getting too hot. It's getting too active. It's getting too wild. What's, again, the other plan? Of course, is, again, go ahead and be able to have a target all the way back down here towards this area. This is where we wanted to get out. So if this stock starts going higher and higher and higher, it's just not following my game plan. That's where I feel less confident, and that's where I'm gambling. If you are in the wrong, get out and move on. So down $800 right here. Now, again, this is also something that I enjoy about live streaming. Sometimes over on social media, people will say, Deck, go ahead and post your losses. Go ahead and post the P&L. The thing is, traders, I do it all live. I'll show you my wins. I'll show you my losses. Now, again, luckily and thankfully, I have a lot more wins than losses. But when I have a loss like I do right here and right now, I want to explain it. I want to go over it. I want to show it. I want you guys to be able to see it. I want you guys to be able to understand what I was thinking. I want you guys to be able to say, all right, hey, he lost because of this, but he followed his game plan. He still had an idea. He was still looking for this move. So PMN, again, that play still going up higher at this moment. We'll see if that one breaks $1 and see where that one's going next. Other than that, we do have HSDT starting to get a little bit weaker. HSDT starting to fade itself back on down. So right here, traders, HSDT also going a little bit more bearish at this time. Those are the two most active, though. PMN and HSDT. Those are the two most active plays. Those are the ones that, again, the majority of traders are focused on. Those are the ones that the majority of traders are looking at. If you guys, again, went on the long side on PMN, amazing. If you guys look for shorts maybe closer to $1, pretty good so far. HSDT was more of our main focus so far this show, where we definitely look for bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, or again, short, short, short. Now the stock is getting a little bit weaker, and we'll see what's going to be happening in the near future as well over on this one. So it's just about trying to stay as smart as we can. Obviously, we just need to follow this game plan and, of course, go from there. Right now here, traders, let's see what's next. Let's see what we can get out of this next move. All right? Let's see what we can do here. PMN, not slowing down just yet. PMN still not slowing down. Deck, what would be the ultimate target today over on PMN? Ultimate target on PMN today would be its old spiking high, up towards around 125. Now, what else did I notice about, PMN that kind of wanted and induced me to go ahead and short? Well, the pure fact that, look what happened last time. PMN went from 45 cents, spiked up to $1.25, came back on down to 45 cents. Does anyone realize that? Does anyone realize that this play went from the price of $1, spiked on up towards the price of $1.60, and then came back on down towards $1.20? So PMN is not known to hold its gains, right? A lot of the most recent spikes over on PMN, it's known to spike and give it on back. Same exact thing for HSDT. HSDT, you guys can see, let's see, the last spike here. The last spike, HSDT went from, and again, this had a ton of reverse stock splits, so it's not the real prices. But the stock went from $600, shot up to $900, shot up to $1,200, came back down to $600. Right here, it went from $700 up to $1,000, back on down towards, again, $500. HSDT is known to spike hard and is known to give back all of its gains. Same exact thing with PMN. It's known to spike hard, and it's known to give back all of its gains. So that's another reason, again, why a lot of times, I might jump in on these plays just from the past chart history pattern, just from the characteristics of the stocks and what they're known for. So let's see what else we have going on here, though, today. We have, of course, HSDT we went over. VMAR didn't really do too much. For anyone who does not know, we did have the S&P 500 at all-time highs once again this morning. I don't know if we're still right there, but let's see. S&P 500. Are we at all-time highs? We're right around them. So the all-time highs is 629.47. 629.47. Right now we're at 629. So, traders, we are moving on up here pretty well. For anyone who doesn't notice yet, the S&P 500 is now up 7% on the day. On the year. Excuse me. 7% on the year. And that's great. Guys, you know what's kind of nuts to think about? When we take a look over on the S&P 500, we have now fallen. We started up near around the highs of 612. We fell around 21% down to 480. And then we spiked all the way back up towards 629. That's kind of nuts to be thinking about. To go from 612 to 480 to 629. We fell 21% and then made back about, 22%. We are up nearly 7% on the year. Now, it's crazy to think about what 2025 really has been so far. Now, we do have something big coming up in the future. And what's that coming on up? Well, we know the countdown. The countdown to Trump's tariffs are back on. Yes, team, in the next week and a half, starting next Friday, August 1st, we do have the countdown to tariffs. So, all that tariff talk, what led the S&P 500 fading and falling and dropping and getting weaker, that's back now. I mean, could that possibly, again, lead towards more reversing? Could that lead towards more weakness? Is the tariff talk going to lead towards the market crashing and dropping just like it did in January and February and March? Is the same thing going to happen once again in the near future? Early morning spikers, GCTK, IXHL, LMFA, these aren't really doing too much right now. And some previous top gainers from Friday, not really doing too much. So, traders, let's just kind of go back to it. Let's see what we have right now. We have PMN as our #1 top gainer and HSDT as our #2 top gainer right now. Guys, we still have PMN still trying to spike and rip and run. Now, Deck, would you jump in on PMN if it keeps going up anywhere else? And the answer is yes. PMN, I would jump back in on this play if it gets up towards what area? I would say back on up towards around that 120 mark. If somehow, again, we see PMN all the way back up towards around that 120 area, absolutely, I would give it another chance. And you might say, Deck, why or how? Because that's the old spiking high. So again, what area is that up towards? That's right around that 125 mark. So yeah, I would probably go if this play gets up towards around 117, I would do 1,000 shares on the short side. 118, 1,000 shares on the short side. 119, 1,000 shares on the short side. 120, 1,000 shares. 121, 1,000 shares. I would just keep loading on up until we got all the way up towards around this price. So again, PMNN, got in, got out. Didn't do what I wanted to do. If this thing starts breaking $1, absolutely, you got to be aware. Absolutely, you got to be on top of it. Absolutely, this is a stock that can make you a lot of money, especially if it starts breaking $1 and starts squeezing a little bit higher and higher and higher. So, high watch and high alert over on this play. We want to see, can we get up towards around that 125 area is next. Okay, so 125 target, 125 area. That's the next main area that we would like to see. See if we can, again, touch that area, get a nice reversal back on down. And it might go a little bit higher potentially. It might go up towards around like 130. But I do think that 125 overall cost basis would be the best idea possible, the best overall trade. So that's what you'd want to be looking for the next possible entry. Now, again, we are up currently at this moment 126% on the day. So if we keep on spiking, we're going to be up nearly 160% when we short this play, if we can go up another 20 cents or so. So traders, stock's definitely getting some momentum. Stock is definitely getting some hype. Stock is definitely getting some activity. Stock is definitely getting some buying volume. PMN, still high watch. HSDT, starting to die off a little bit, right? HSDT starting to die off a little bit. HSDT starting to get a little bit weaker. HSDT not really doing the same amount of attention. So what's next, guys? Well, what's next is we got to wait until... What's next is we have to wait until probably 8:30. 8:30 is the next press release wave. 8:30 is the next opportunity for you to be able to make some nice gains. 8:30 is the next chance that you're going to be able to come out on top and be able to make that nice big profit. So 8:30, very important. But PMN, let's see if this one can break $1. Now, for anyone who does not know, $1 is a very strong resistance line. $1 natural resistance. I know it's only 1 penny to go from 99 cents to $1, but for some reason, it's that psychological game again, where a lot of traders say to themselves, it's very tough to be able to break through that $1 mark. To go from 99 cents to $1, yeah, that's a major milestone, right? It's a major milestone to be able to go from 99 cents to $1. It's almost like, you know, for YouTube subscribers to go all the way from $9.99 to 1 million. It's a major milestone. And to go from a little penny stock to now $1 per share company, people could be getting excited. Now, we could also see a lot of buying volume move on in. Why could we see a lot of buying volume move on in if we start seeing 101, 102, 103? Well, that's because guess what would happen? All the shorts are going to get squeezed out right now. If we start seeing on the bids 101, 102, 103, a lot of shorters are going to get out of the play and move on. Notice what's happening though. Every time we come up towards that $1 area, we start getting rejected. Let's take this as a little lesson right here. This could be an awesome little lesson. Let's think about this as a level 2 lesson. So for every single person that's asking themselves, Deck, I look at the level 2 all the time, and I really don't understand what I'm looking at. Let's kind of break this on down because right now is a perfect example on how a level 2 works. Right now, we have PMN. The left side are the buyers. The right side are the shorters. So the left side is where, again, people want to see the stock rise. They want to see it stay above $1 and continue to push up above $1. The right side is where the shorters are moving in, where they want to jump in and they want to see the stock go lower. And essentially all we have here is a battle. It's a war between the buyers, aka the left side, and the sellers, aka the shorters on the right side. Now, what do the shorters want? The shorters kind of already lost this little battle, didn't they? The shorters got scared and they said, hey, you know what? If we lose $1, we are going to have to retreat. We're going to have to run away, right? Guess what happened? We have the buyers. Think about this as 2 different armies. Think about it as like, you know, like that movie 300, if you want to. You have, again, the Spartans versus, again, the Immortals. And basically what we have right here is we have the Spartans continuing to push on up. The buyers are trying to push on up. Now, the buyers are saying, we just conquered $1. Now we want to try to get all the way up towards around 125. Now, if you're a shorter and you want the stock to move on down. Do you want the stock to go up towards 125? Not at all. So you're hoping, again, more shorters move on in, but there's really no extra line of support until that 125 area. There's a great chance that PMN is going to spike on up towards around that 125 here soon, because once the shorters get to 125, that's where they essentially have reinforcements. Why do they have reinforcements there? Because that's essentially where, again, the old spiking high is, where there's going to be a lot of trouble. So right now, guess what we just saw? Buyers took over $1. $1 used to be the shorting home base, right? We couldn't get above $1. It took so much effort to get above $1. But then guess what happened? We finally snapped and we broke above $1. Now the buyers are comfortable. They took that. Now, again, the buyers are holding above $1. That old resistance line is now holding up as a new support line of $1. Now, again, buyers are trying to regather their thoughts and work their way up towards around that 125 mark. The next main area where shorter should win would be, again, that 125 mark. Now, let's also think about something, though. You know how troubling it was to get above that $1 area? We tried to break $1 and we faded. And we tried to break $1 and we faded. And we tried to break $1 and we faded. And finally, we broke $1, right? The last thing the buyers want to do is to go back down underneath $1. We do not want to give the shorters the $1 area once again. We don't want to turn this potential support line where we are now bouncing and bouncing and bouncing off of into, again, back into resistance where we are back underneath. So again, as of now, the buyers are winning. How am I seeing this level too? Well, I'm seeing, again, we couldn't break $1. We couldn't break $1. We couldn't break $1. We broke it, and now we're bouncing off $1. The buyers still have control right now. The buyers are going to have control most likely until the shorters either A, take over $1 and push the buyers back down to 99, 98 cents, or until the buyers overextend themselves and run all the way up into the next shorting area of 125. This is where, like, the shortest home base is right now, 125 area, 119, 118, 120, like that whole area. That's where, again, the shorters are going to take over. So let's watch, let's wait. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a squeeze on up towards around that 125 mark. And then from there, we should see a ton of shorter reinforcements move on in. So what am I looking to do? I'm looking to be one of those shorting reinforcements. I want to add on to this play as we run on up towards around the 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122 price. That's what I want to do. I want to see a little bit of a spike somewhere up towards, again, the 117 to 125 area and add it into that shorting reinforcement mark. So right here, traders, let's see if we can squeeze and spike up towards this old spiking high area. And that's where shorters should move on in and start reversing the play on up, or reverse on down. Now, again, I only look to short at shorting areas. So, Dek, where was the first area you looked to short at? Remember, I looked to short at what mark? The first price, the 200-day moving average. This red line was my first entry. That's where I wanted to short. Now, where's my next area to short? My next area to short now is all the way up towards this entry. Notice how I'm not looking to short anywhere in the random middle areas. The random middle areas where I really don't know what's going to happen. I know, though, if we start moving up towards, again, 117, 118, 119, up towards this area and above, this is the next shorting opportunity for me. This is the next shorting opportunity that I can get filled at. This is the next shorting mark that I could be able to feel good about. So, guys, I actually just got filled on my first entry right there at 117, only 1,000 shares. So I did just get filled at 117, my first entry right there. Only 1,000 shares, but as I know, as we get up closer towards that 125 mark, I should be able to make some money. So only 1,000 shares got filled at that 117 mark. We still have, again, PMN trying to push its way on up, but notice as we get closer towards that 125 mark, there's going to be more rebellion. There's going to be more resistance. There's going to be more, again, shorters wanting to take on over. So again, I got my first entry there at 117. I want to get more. I want to see 119, 120, 121 so I can get more shares and then, again, get the big drop back on down. But right now, I did just get my first little entry filled right around that mark of 117, just in case, again, shorters take on over. And then we're going to see if we can keep on reversing, keep on fading, keep on falling. So as always, I always spread out orders. So you guys can see, like, I have tons of orders, 118, 120, 123. Like, I'm spreading out my orders up near around that 125 mark. Now, Dek, why are you spreading out orders instead of just placing it right at 125? Because this is stock trading. Stock trading never gives you, oh, 125's resistance. We're going to hit exactly 125 and that's it. Like that, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you might have 125's resistance and it only comes up to 119 and then it falls. Sometimes 125's resistance and it runs up to 128 and then it falls. So the thing is, all I try to do is I always try to spread out my orders to give myself the best overall average. So basically, if again we see PMN, I think 125 is the best overall entry. A lot of times what I'm going to do is I'm going to put entries slightly above it. I'm going to put entries slightly at it. I'm going to put entries slightly underneath it. So the thing is, I'm covering all bases. If PMN spikes on up, hits this area and falls, at least I have something. If PMN spikes on up and hits these areas, okay, great. My average cost base is going to be somewhere right here. If again, PMN goes all the way up towards the very tippity top and then it falls, well, then I have all my entries filled. So right now, basically what has happened, PMN came on up towards 117. 117 was the only entry I got filled out of, again, my multiple entries of 118, 119, 120, you know, as you guys can see right here. So I only got a little bit filled right now, but a little bit filled is better than nothing, right? $80 of money, $80 of cash, you know, like it's not much, but at least it's something here, you know? I think we just had another Bitcoin press release. ATHR proposed a $40 million public offering to acquire Bitcoin. So ATHR, let's actually watch that real quick, guys. ATHR. Nope, not any sort of buying volume. We've seen a lot of Bitcoin hype recently, and Bitcoin's one of my keywords, guys. So over on Fox Runner, you can actually type in keywords that you want and to get alerted towards. So if I make myself a little bit smaller right here, whenever there's the word Bitcoin, I always get alerted on it. So you can see it's in pink. So whenever, again, you know, the word Bitcoin comes on out, it's going to be alerted in pink for me right here. And it also says it out loud. So I always like to hear the Bitcoin press releases because Bitcoin press releases have been extremely hot recently. We've been seeing a lot of hype. We've been seeing a lot of momentum. We've been hearing a lot of action with Bitcoin. So I just want to always just have that, you know, all set, ready to go. Right now here, traders, PMN still trying to get a little bit of spike. Again, I wanted to get a little bit more if I could have, like that 118, 119. I'm still going to give it some time. HSDT, guys, if you guys are interested on this one's still fading and falling. Let's just do the 830 press release wave, and then, of course, we'll go from there. So 830 press release wave, we'll do it together, but then usually I have to wrap up over on StockTwits because they got other shows they got to do. But let's just see what happens in the next 2 minutes here. Next 2 minutes at the 8:30 press release wave, we'll be all set, ready to go. We'll be all set, ready to rock, and see what's going to be happening. I am going to leave my PMN entries up there in case PMN can get filled. I would like that. Stock's up 152%. We are still looking for that very tippity top up near around that 125 mark. So I will look for that entry up high and then look for that reversal back on down still. I do not mind if it runs up to 125 so I can get more entries filled. So that's where, again, I do think could be able to make me some great money on this day. Also, again, as we have I've been talking about, HSDT has been an excellent short also here, traders. So we are, again, just watching, waiting, staying smart, and kind of seeing what's the next move. We got 1 minute until the 8:30 press release wave, and we can all do that together, looking for that next press release wave, looking for that next rip and that next pop. All right. Also, team, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, smash that thumbs on up if you guys are watching at this moment as well. Absolutely love being with you guys here on this Money Monday, getting ourselves involved and getting ourselves started off right. Let's get this day started off right, guys. 8:30 press release wave coming on out us in about 25 minutes right here and right now. So come on now. 25 seconds away, 15 seconds away, watching to see what PMN's going to do. But let's watch again the 8:30 press release wave. Okay, 8:30 press release wave. All eyes over on the news scanner. We're going to see the news come on out at 8:30. I do have, again, some certain settings, though. My settings are 0 to 20 million in float. So since I have 0 to 20 million float, it's not like I get every single press release. I'm only going to get stocks that have lower floats. So again, you know, that's what I like to look for. Another Bitcoin press release just came on out with GLXY. UMAC acquired $40 million of Dogecoin. You guys see that? $40 million of Dogecoin over on BTOG. Could that possibly go on a spike? BTOG, $40 million of Dogecoin. Would anyone want to, you know, buy into that play? Let's see if that one can start running on up towards around like that $1 area. I could imagine, again, maybe some traders that, you know, love Dogecoin start buying it on that play and say, oh, maybe something big could happen here. So again, we do have right, where was that one? DOGE. I want to see BTOG. Look at BTOG right here, guys. BTOG starting to get a little bit more hype. Let's watch that one. BTOG right here, 7% gain. you guys can see, acquires over 40 million Dogecoin to advance Treasury Secretary. That seems like that's the best press release so far. It doesn't have a ton of hype just yet. But again, whenever crypto has been hot. Crypto has been very hot. And I just could imagine if maybe, again, buyers rush in on this, we could see this one run on up towards around $1. XYZ. Nope, 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 nope. BTOG is my favorite out of the 830 press release waves. So BTOG up 7%. We did have SAGT come on out with a good press release, 144% gain. PMN starting to drop, guys. PMN starting to drop and fade. That's good news. So PMN making us some money right here. If anyone's shorting PMN with me right now at this moment, that's pretty cool. So PMN, guys, starting to get weaker. Starting to fade a little bit. We did not get everything we wanted out of this play, but PMN is starting to drop and starting to get weak. I'm going to just take my profits over on PMN coming on up here. The reason why is just to be a smart trader. Again, I didn't take my profits earlier over on HSDT, and you know, it's not like it's that big. It's $150. PMN, I was looking to be able to get to make a nice profit over on this play. Stock is getting a little bit weaker, as we could see. I'm up $160 at this moment. This one might crack $1 and start getting weaker, but I'm just going to take my gains right here. So again, PMN, guys, just made $300, eliminated that $800 loss to now only $496. So again, just got out of my 1,000 shares. So hey, take a little bit of a win where we can, take some profits where we can. Not too bad, not too shabby. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, not too much. I would say let's keep our eyes peeled over on BTOG still. Watch that one for, throughout today, see if that one gets some hype. But right now, PMN is still your #1 play with HSDT as your back burner play. Okay, there's nothing that is, as of now, that's going too crazy. I did have 3 trades on the day today. Nothing too wild, nothing too big, no massive wins, no massive losses. Just, again, trying to get back into the flow on this Money Monday. But again, StockTwits Nation, Tradecaster, I love you, and I hope you guys are having an absolutely wonderful day. I do need to wrap on up here, but for every single person that's watching over on StockTwits, if you guys want to come on over, we are going to be live streaming the rest of the day over on Tradecaster. So make sure you guys come on in, jump on over to Tradecaster, grab again yourself a membership, and of course, enjoy the live stream. For all members over on Tradecaster, I'm going to be bringing down the live stream here for a moment, and I'll put up a brand fresh new one so that we can kick off this day starting off around 9 o'clock. Let's have ourselves an amazing day. Let's have ourselves an amazing week, and let's get ready to make some profits. StockTwits, Tradecaster, thank you for everyone who has joined us on this day. Help me wrap this thing on up. You guys know the drill here, baby. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. I love you. Happy Money Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I'll see you guys later.